So, we are just a few hours away from Game 4 against the Bears with a lot of questions. Week 1 was fantastic. Week 2 was concerning, and Week 3 was just brutal. And now, they've got a chance to change the narrative. And I believe this is a do-or-die situation. Yes, it's just Week 4, almost 13 games still left, but look, what we have seen in Week 2 and Week 3, we are not in the position to repeat this. If the Raiders don't work now, they are not going to make it correct later. Not everything was bad in those losses. You know what the winning formula is? Keep doing best what is working for you already and stop repeating mistakes that cost you games. So, here are a few bright spots I believe the Raiders must continue in order to win this game. What's up, Raiders fans? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Raiders. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the Raiders. One of the clearest bright spots so far has been the way Geno Smith has been able to spread the ball when he has protection. The Raiders made a real effort this offseason to give him more weapons, and it's paying off. Even with injuries at key positions, you can see the value of having multiple options. Tre Tucker is the biggest example of this. Last week, he had the best game of his career. 8 catches, 145 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's not just production, that's explosive playmaking. Previous regimes couldn't unlock him, but in this system, with Geno, Tucker has become a true difference maker. That has to continue. Against the Bears, who are missing Jalen Johnson in the secondary, Tucker can once again tilt the field. His speed and his connection with Geno stretch defenses, and that opens space for everyone else. If the Raiders stick with that, they're already one step closer to their success formula. Another steady piece has been Jakobi Meyers. While Tucker's breakout grabbed headlines, Meyers has been the model of consistency, between 63 and 97 yards in every single game. He's not flashy, but he's reliable. And in a matchup like this, with Tyreek Stevenson likely covering him as Chicago's best available corner, Meyers' consistency is even more valuable. When you're in a do-or-die game, you need guys who move the chains, who show up on third down, who keep drives alive. Meyers has been doing that, and it's part of what the Raiders must keep building on. Now, the offensive line has been a problem. Let's be honest, it hasn't been good enough. But here's the bright spot. Jackson Powers-Johnson is back and ready. He cleared concussion protocol, and this week feels like the moment where he reclaims his spot. His presence gives stability inside, and it allows the Raiders to run the ball with more confidence. Why does that matter? Because Chicago's run defense has been one of the weakest in the league. They're giving up nearly 140 yards a game on the ground. That's where you can punish them. With Powers-Johnson anchoring, Ashton Jeanty has the chance to break through. And Jeanty, even after taking criticism from outside voices, has shown the right mindset. He said he doesn't care what people have to say, that he's focused on what's in front of him. That's exactly the mentality this team needs. Keep pounding the ball, keep leaning on the line, and you've got another piece of the formula right there. Then there's Brock Bowers. Even when limited, he's still a weapon. 4 catches for 38 yards last week doesn't sound like much, but you saw flashes of what he brings. He's still wearing that knee brace, still not quite himself, but he's a bright spot because of the way defenses treat him. Opponents respect him, they plan for him, and that opens things up elsewhere. Against the Bears, with Kevin Byard and Jaquan Brisker lurking, this is a tough matchup, but the key is involvement. If the Raiders continue to feed Bowers and make him part of the offense early, it changes how the defense lines up. Even at less than 100%, Bowers is too talented to ignore. Keeping him in the mix is part of the winning formula. On defense, the bright spots are just as important. Maxx Crosby remains the heartbeat of this team. He's winning over 22% of his pass rush reps, and he's about to face Braxton Jones, who has already allowed 13 pressures and 2 sacks. That's an enormous advantage. Crosby has to keep doing what he does, bringing relentless energy, forcing quarterbacks into bad decisions, setting the tone. This isn't just about stats, it's about presence. When Crosby is disruptive, everything else on defense gets easier. Against a rookie quarterback like Caleb Williams, pressure from Crosby can change the game. That's not just a hope, that's a bright spot you can count on. Another bright spot is Adam Butler inside. He's carried his breakout from last season right into this year, and he's been the most consistent defensive tackle on the roster. Chicago's rebuilt interior line, Dalman, Jackson, Thuney, will be a challenge, but Butler has shown he can win those battles. Having a reliable force inside makes life easier for guys like Booker and Kunze who have struggled. The formula here is clear. Keep leaning on Butler to set the standard in the trenches and expect the others to rise to his level. Special teams, believe it or not, is also still a bright spot despite what happened last week. Yes, the coverage units gave up 2 huge returns, and yes, that was costly. But don't lose sight of the bigger picture. A.J. Cole and Daniel Carlson are Pro Bowlers. Tom McMahon is a respected coordinator who has delivered results year after year. One bad game doesn't erase that. The bright spot is the leadership of this group. Cole said it himself. Don't let one bad game snowball into 2. That's the right message. Special teams can still be a strength, and if they bounce back this week, it puts the Raiders back on track. And here's something people overlook: the mindset. Ashton Jeanty, after being called out, didn't flinch. He said he hasn't even seen the criticism, that he doesn't care. That's focus. That's mental toughness. And that's contagious. If more players adopt that mindset, block out the noise, ignore the negativity, and just perform, the Raiders will be stronger for it. In a do-or-die game, mentality is just as important as execution. And Jeanty's example is part of the formula too. Now let's put this into perspective with the opponent. The Bears are not a pushover. They beat Dallas 31-14, they've put up points, and Caleb Williams has already shown why he was the top pick. Rome Odunze has become his favorite target, with 16 catches, 227 yards, and 4 touchdowns. This offense is dangerous. But here's the truth. You don't beat a team like this by trying to reinvent yourself in 1 week. You beat them by leaning into your strengths. The bright spots you've already shown, that's your formula. So let's tie it all together. On offense, the formula is Tre Tucker continuing his breakout, Jakobi Meyers maintaining his steady production, Brock Bowers being involved early, and Jackson Powers-Johnson solidifying the line so Ashton Jeanty can attack Chicago's soft run defense. On defense, it's Maxx Crosby dominating his matchup, Adam Butler providing consistency inside, and the rest of the front feeding off their energy. On special teams, it's leadership from A.J. Cole and Daniel Carlson making sure last week's mistakes don't repeat. And mentally, it's about blocking out the noise, focusing on what you do best, and trusting the process. That's the formula. It's not complicated, it's not flashy, but it's exactly what the Raiders need right now. Build on your bright spots, eliminate the repeat mistakes, and you've got a real chance to beat the Bears. If they do that, this game can be the turning point. If they don't, if they slip back into the same problems from weeks 2 and 3, then it's another loss, and the hole gets deeper. But the opportunity is there. The formula is right in front of them. Keep Tucker involved. Trust Meyers. Feed Bowers. Protect Geno. Let Crosby and Butler set the tone on defense. Bounce back on special teams. And stay locked in mentally. That's how the Raiders can not only survive Week 4, but actually find their success formula against the Bears. And if they execute that plan, this won't just be another Sunday. It will be the game that changes their season.